God's existence is understood to be outside the constraints of time. As the creator of time, God is not bound by its limitations. God exists eternally, transcending the temporal dimensions. This eternal existence explains why human expectations of immediate justice are often unmet. Human perception is limited by time, while God's actions occur on an eternal timescale. Therefore, divine timing operates outside the scope of immediate human comprehension. The concept involves visualizing an infinite timeline that stretches across all of existence. God exists outside of this timeline, unbound by the constraints of time. From God's perspective, all moments in the timeline are perceived simultaneously. This contrasts sharply with human perception, which is limited to experiencing only the present moment. Humans are sequentially bound within the timeline, moving from past to present to future. God's eternal perspective encompasses all of time as a single, unified present. Free will is the capacity of agents to choose between different possible courses of action unimpeded. The existence of free will has been a central philosophical and religious debate. One argument against divine intervention posits its impact on human autonomy. If a divine power intervened to prevent every wrong action, human beings would lose their autonomy. Without the capacity for independent choice, humans would be reduced to puppets controlled by a higher power. The simulation presents individuals facing critical moral decisions. These scenarios highlight the distinction between ethical and unethical choices. Divine guidance is offered as a resource during these dilemmas. However, the ultimate responsibility for the decision lies with the individual. The simulation underscores the importance of personal accountability in moral conduct. Human actions have consequences that ripple through society. Negative actions often lead to suffering and injustice for others. These negative outcomes are not divinely ordained. Suffering and injustice are the direct result of human choices and behaviors. Understanding this cause and effect relationship is crucial for promoting positive change. Suffering can be metaphorically represented by a doctor performing surgery on a child. The child experiences pain as a direct result of the doctor's actions. However, the doctor's actions are ultimately intended for the child's healing and well-being. This illustrates how suffering can sometimes be a necessary part of a process that leads to improvement. The world can be viewed as a testing ground for individuals. A perfectly just world would negate the need for a final judgment. The existence of injustice implies a future reckoning. This future reckoning could manifest as life after death. Every act of injustice is meticulously recorded. Divine silence should not be interpreted as indifference. Instead, it represents a period of waiting. This waiting period is for the eventual administration of ultimate justice. Therefore, every injustice will be addressed in due time. Wars are often justified by invoking divine will or religious mandates. However, a deeper analysis reveals that power struggles are a primary driver. These power struggles can occur between individuals vying for control. They also manifest as competition between nations seeking dominance. Greed, particularly for resources and territory, is another significant factor. Therefore, wars are frequently rooted in the pursuit of power and wealth. Religious conflicts often stem from a misinterpretation of core tenets. Those who incite violence in religion's name often distort its true message. Most faiths inherently promote love, kindness, and compassion. Warfare, under religious pretexts, contradicts these fundamental principles. Such actions represent a deviation from the intended spiritual path. Humans are endowed with intellect and reason. These faculties enable humans to discern right from wrong. Therefore, humans have the capacity to stand against injustice. Remaining silent in the face of wrongdoing constitutes a failure of human responsibility. God is the source of courage, not a magician. Humans are empowered to fight against evil. This courage enables humans to confront darkness. Humans can overcome evil through this divine empowerment. Darkness is not the absence of the sun, The sun's existence is constant, regardless of perceived darkness. Darkness indicates a position turned away from the light source. Orientation determines whether light is perceived or not. Changing direction can bring one into the sun's illumination. Crimes, wars, and hatred persist due to a lack of inherent goodness. The cessation of these issues hinges on humanity awakening its inherent goodness. This awakening is not expected to occur through divine intervention. True and lasting change requires an internal transformation within humanity. The world has been entrusted to humanity. This implies a significant responsibility for its future. Humanity's actions will determine the fate of the earth. The potential exists to create a positive and harmonious environment. Alternatively, destructive actions could lead to a negative outcome. Ultimately, humanity holds the power to shape the world into either a heaven or a hell. Humanity shares a collective responsibility in shaping the world's future. This responsibility calls for proactive engagement in global issues. Compassion is essential in addressing the needs of others and promoting well-being. Justice is crucial for ensuring fairness and equity in all aspects of society.